break up my seminar into 3 areas: catching, and then I'm going to give us a little tips on the transition between catching and throwing, and then I'm going to finish with actual throwing here. Catching starts with the feet, and I always tell players, if you want to look at a kid who makes an error, a lot of kids, most errors in baseball are made by throwing errors, okay? And a lot of kids say, or a lot of parents was like, well, his arm must not have been in the right place, or something's wrong, he didn't have a good grip. Most of the time, you can go back and say, no, the kid's feet were not in the right place. It all starts with your feet, because that's what you have contact with the ground. And if your feet are not doing what they should do, it screws everything up after that. And so many times, once you get the feet set and the kids know what to do with their feet, generally a lot of errors do not get made from there. So first off, the athletic position. I don't care what sport you play, the athletic position comes into play. It's feet wide, balls to your feet. If I'm a quarterback, I'm right here. If I'm a running back, I'm here. If I'm a soccer goalie, I'm here. If I'm a surfer, I'm right here. It's the same position no matter what sport you play. And so catching a baseball starts with the athletic position. And a lot of kids, especially when they're young, pretty much just stand straight up, feet together, and just kind of catch. And they wonder why they have balance problems and they can't really do things very quickly or powerfully, because their feet are not wide enough and in that athletic position. So it starts with the athletic position, and a lot of coaches will say, move to the ball. And there's a flaw in that, though. I always tell kids, it's not a bad idea that when the pitch is being thrown, every fielder is moving a step towards the batter to get them in the habit of moving forward. But there's a flaw in that I don't want my players to be moving forward as the ball is being hit. Because fielders are not going to get beat moving forward or moving backwards. Fielders get beat side to side. They just can't get to the ball that's not hit directly at them. And so if they are moving forward when the ball's hit, and the ball's hit over here, I have to stop my momentum and then change directions. Well, that takes longer than me just standing still and my first movement being left or right. So it's okay for kids to move forward on the pitch, but they don't want to actually be moving when the ball's hit. So I might be here as a fielder or an outfielder when the pitch is thrown. I step forward, but I want to be completely still and in that athletic position when the ball is actually hit, because now I have a very easy chance of going left or right or whatever direction I need to. So it's okay to be in the athletic position, that's what I want, but be careful when kids are moving forward. We tend to teach that with kids, but that's going to hurt them side to side eventually. In terms of selecting a glove, and there's a lot of personal preference here. I brought 2 gloves. One is mine and one's my son. He's 5. A glove, first of all, needs to fit. Okay, it needs to be comfortable. So there's some personal preference there in terms of hand size and everything like that. This glove is fit perfectly for my hand because I broke it in and everything. It's more like an extension of my hand. It doesn't slide all over the place and so forth. And with young kids, that's important, that glove stays connected to their hand. So I bought this one, and actually this was a steal. I got this at Marshall's for 10 bucks. It's like one of those clearance things. I was like, oh my gosh. It's like the last one. So this fits my son's hand perfectly, and I like it because it's synthetic leather, but it's very soft leather. It's very comfortable. It has a Velcro strap so that I can, or he can, tighten it so that it stays on his hand real well. And so there's a lot of good features to a glove like this. Many times if the glove is too big, kids can rely on that glove too much and get into bad habits. If the glove is too small, it's a safety problem for kids because they just don't have enough glove to catch the ball. Some gloves are that vinyl, really cheap vinyl that are really hard, which makes it tough to close it. So you want to try to get a combination, not too big, not too small, softer leather that he can actually close, he or she can close, and something that's going to fit snugly to the back of his hand so that the glove doesn't actually fall off here. Now I have a couple pictures here of some gloves, and getting back to this one here, with my website I also have a YouTube channel, and one of my most viewed videos is like a 5-minute video on how to break in your glove, and I would spend time talking about that, but it would take too long. So if you're looking for something to watch when you get home, go to YouTube and search for Baseball by the Yard, and it'll come up a bunch of my videos, and you'll see one that's called How to Break in a Glove. And that can go a long way in helping kids catch the ball better if you break in the glove properly. Because many times we were, as kids, taught to incorrectly break in the glove. So you probably did it like I did, right? You get a brand new glove, you put a ball in it, you wrap it up and you put it under your bed. You know how you did that. But basically you're teaching your glove to be like this. And with young kids, they end up going after the ball and their glove stays in that closed position. We want kids to break in a glove and train it to stay in the open position. Just makes sense. It's one less thing the kid has to do, particularly if he's a young kid. He's going after the ball with his glove open, and all he has to do is close it, instead of going after the ball with his glove trained to stay closed, and he then has to open it before he catches it. So for safety and performance, we want to make sure kids are breaking that glove in correctly and training it. And so if you get a chance, watch that video. It'll give you some things that we generally did not do when we were kids to break in the glove. Now, another thing I've seen some kids do, this is actually a wristband. And some kids, if they have a glove that doesn't have like Velcro, something like this, and the glove is really big and it's falling off their hand, what I would do if this was still too big for my son, I would take this off, stick a wristband on here, and then feed it through. And you can accomplish the same thing by unlacing the glove. Stick a wristband on there, and that often puts some pressure on the kid's hand so that it stays in there. And kids think it's cool when they have a wristband on the glove there. So that's just another option for kids to make that glove a little more snug so that it's not sliding all over the place on their hand there. Okay, so talked about starting with the feet, the glove selection, the hands. You want to make sure, just like in any other sport, your hands are out in front of you. But there's no sport out there where your hands are extended fully out and you're going to have good balance and power. Okay? You also aren't going to find a sport where the hands are right next to the body. It's kind of safe in between. Elbows are bent and hands are up. Now, I give the analogy of a basketball pass, because when we hold a basketball, we don't put our hands on the direct side of the ball and pass. We put our hands like this behind the ball, and we do a chest pass like this. Well, the same principle applies when we are trying to catch a baseball. Your hands go out in front of you, your elbows are bent, kind of extended here, athletic position, and your hand is in like that position as if you have a basketball in your hand, and you're going to give a chest pass. So if I have my glove on, it's going to be like this, like my thumbs are almost touching here. That's the position we generally want to be in when we're getting ready to catch the ball. And of course that allows me to go in any direction if I need to. A lot of kids make the mistake, they'll just keep the glove down here. And then when the ball's up here, they just don't have the time to get it there. Okay, and also we have a safety issue. If the ball's thrown pretty hard at their head, if they're right in the middle, I can go in any direction pretty quickly because the glove starts out in front of me in the middle there. Probably the biggest tip I could give any little kid is the concept of high five and low five. Generally, the concept is anytime I catch a ball above my waist, a kid is going to high five the ball. Okay? And that's a very easy concept for kids to understand because they know what a high five is. Anything above the waist, they high five the ball. Anything below the waist, they turn the hand and they low five the ball. We've probably all seen this, and I'm sure I did it when I was little at least one time. Ball thrown above my waist or hit above my waist, and I bring the glove up like this, and we all seen that where the ball hits the glove and comes up and hits the kid in the face because he tried to low five a ball above his waist. Conversely, if there's a ball below my waist, many kids, instead of turning the glove and low fiving, they will go after that low ball like this, and they just don't get to it because they're trying to high five a ball that's below the waist. And I see even major league guys do this. A shortstop will go to a bag and ready to turn a double play, and the feed to him will be low, and the shortstop will go down like this to try to catch the ball. And if his hands were quicker, he'd get under it, low five it, and that's a much easier play than to come down, catch it, and then have to come all the way up.